We're on.
All right, Khan, Shalom, family. Shalom, 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 Shabbat, Shalom. All praise to the Most High, Mashiach, Yahushai. Happy Sabbath, everybody. It's Shah Shabbat. So this is part 2 of the lesson. So this lesson is going to be called Death is Not the Final Frontier. Death is not the final frontier. So, as y'all know, unfortunately, we took another, major, I don't want to say loss, but because none that passed in Yahushua are lost. But Most High took our brother Shemaiah back home to the spirit world. We lost Sister Banaf. Well, the Most High took our Sister Banaf home earlier this year. So, been quite a rough year for H.O.I. But, like Kasaja was bringing out earlier, death is all around us. It's been constant for me. I've been hearing it back to back, people in the truth. Other, from the biggest camps to the smallest camps, because I hear about stuff. I heard there was a major death recently in one of the bigger camps. They didn't announce it, but I heard about it. And it happens, at the Feast of Tabernacles, we was talking to the elder brother Gabar, and I didn't even know a brother I met 1 or 2 times from HYK, the other Philadelphia camp that we had the Passover with. He had passed away. I didn't even know the brother passed away. Or I didn't remember. I think another brother told me, but maybe I forgot or something like that. But point being, death is around us, y'all. In Israel, in the world, judgment is happening in the world. People are dying, from all types of ways. And it's hitting home. It's also, within the truth and within H.O.I. But we're gonna get a few scriptures on death just to comfort the body. And then I'm gonna make a few announcements concerning Brother Shemaiah and what we plan on doing. So all praise to the Most High Mashiach Yahushai. So I don't know if Aisha, y'all want to continue reading. If not, somebody else. I know you read for the entire first lesson. So if somebody else want to pick it up.
Aisha, you good?
If he don't mind continuing, either way.
Yeah, it don't matter.
Huh?
It don't matter. I'll continue reading.
All right. So death is not the final frontier. All right. If you understand the scriptures, there's resurrection. There's when Yahweh shall return with the chariots. So death is not the final frontier. And y'all know the saying we had as a people for many years. I see you when I get there. I see you in heaven. I see you again. All right. The Lord called them home, or we'll see them in the afterlife. So that all that stuff is true. Is we as a people, we say stuff spiritually. We say stuff in the spirit because it's true, is in the word. So first we're gonna start with 2nd Ezra. Let's go to 2nd Ezra 16. I just got a few precepts here, just gonna breeze right through them. So y'all can put these in y'all notes for dealing with death, different aspects of death. All right, and also for a comfort, so you don't get so emotional and we got to keep going. 2nd Ezra 16:18. When everybody have it, say Khan.
Khan.
Okay. Read that.
Khan. 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings.
Right, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings. Good.
The beginnings of famine and great death.
Right, and we ain't see nothing yet. All right, and Israelites in the truth are going to pass also. All right, what happens when we get to the level of martyrdom? And we're going to get into a little bit of that later. All right. What happens when we got to give our life for teaching this truth and this gospel? Not just being sick and, the Most High decide to take you so you don't suffer or whatever, or, the sickness consumes you. But we got to get into all that. It's going to be the beginning of sorrows, the beginning of famine and great death. Read on.
The beginnings of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear.
And what?
The beginnings of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear.
Right, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. Come on.
The beginnings of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come?
Yeah, we ain't see nothing yet. So actually, we're going to have to be strong. Not strong in the sense of being cold, but we're going to have to get strong in these last days. We're going to see a lot. And we're going to see some of our brothers and sisters in this truth pass. So we got to strengthen. You're going to mourn. You're going to feel sorry, but you got to be strong. And you got to keep going and do it to the end. Not to sound cliche, but that's what Brother Shemaiah and any of our brothers and sisters that left us would have wanted. Of course, they would have wanted. All right, read on.
Reading on. Behold, famine and plague.
Matter of fact, go to Matthew 24 real quick. Link that up. Go to Matthew 24 and start at 5.
Is the book saying
Matthew 24, Salakia.
Mm-hmm.
Start at 3.
It's the book of St. Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 3. When everybody have it, say Khan. St. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
Right. So the disciples, they wanted signs back then. They asked Yahushua, what's going to be the sign of your coming and of the end of the world? Right, go ahead.
And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many.
Go ahead.
And he shall hear wars and rumors of wars, said that he be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
Yeah, so we're going to see more, man. We're going to deal with more than death. But there's going to be a lot of death as a result of everything that's about to happen. Right? Come on.
For nation shall rise against nation.
Yeah, remember in Revelation, it said the blood going to be up to the horse's bridle. So you're going to have to develop some thick skin in these last days. We are going to see a lot of death. All right, 2/3 of our own people, the other nations, we're going to see a lot of death. Israelites in the truth going past, we're going to have to just pray and be strong and hope that we see them on the chariots and in the kingdom. Right, come on.
For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places.
Right, and what's going to happen in those famines, pestilences, earthquakes in diverse places? Death. Like Kasaji was bringing out, look at what they're doing with SNAP and the farmers. You giving $40 billion to Argentina, but people in America are starving to death. And that's going to happen, man. So we're about to go through some crazy times. We're in some crazy times. Right? Come on.
All these things are the beginnings of sorrows.
So the Lord said, these are the beginning of sorrows. What happens when you're doing the work and a brother might be killed for this truth? Look what happened to the brother. I believe, out of sight said he's GMS, I guess. I thought he was just like, because I know there's a lot of brothers that kind of left GMS and they still have their teaching styles, but I guess the brother was GMS. Up with that incident where he pulled that gun on him. It's going to get rough. I had gun. We had a gun pulled on us one time in 14th Street, Union Square. A dude, he was with a Moabite. We rebuked him, told him, get a woman of your own nation. Dude pulled out a 380 and clicked it on us. Straight up, clicked it back and everything. You know what I'm saying? And we just stood our ground like, where I'm from, like, you gonna bust, son? You pulled and clicked it, so we just stood our ground. Like, if you ain't gonna shoot, we gonna keep teaching. You know what I'm saying? But it was serious. So we're gonna go through stuff for teaching this word. All these are the beginning of sorrows. All right, this is just the beginning of what the Most High about to bring down on this earth. Khan?
Khan.
All right, so 2nd Ezra 16:18 with Matthew 24:8. Let's go from there to Isaiah 57:1.
Khan.
Go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 57 and verse 1. When everybody have it, say Khan.
This is the book
Isaiah
of Isaiah.
57:1.
Khan, elder. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 57, and verse 1. The righteous perish.
What the Lord say?
The righteous perisheth, and no man layeth it to heart.
Yeah, you know, so you're going to have a brother that's in the truth, a sister that's in the truth, that's doing the commandments, that's righteous to the best of their ability, and they might perish. They can pass away also. Read it again.
The righteous perisheth, and no man layeth it to heart. And merciful men are taken away, none considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come.
See that you got to consider that too. Some spirits, the Most High going to take off the earth in these last days because it's just about to get so evil. That's a form of mercy. Everybody understand, Khan?
Khan.
That's a form of mercy. It's about to get so evil in these last days. Some spirits, the Most High going to take off the earth, so because He don't want them to witness the evil to come. Khan?
Khan.
All right, read on.
Read it on. Verse 2. He shall enter into peace. They shall rest in their beds, each one walking in his uprightness.
See that? The Lord said, He shall enter into peace. They shall rest in their beds, each one walking in his uprightness. See that? So the Lord said, the righteous perish, but they're at peace. They're walking in their uprightness, and they're resting in their beds. They're just resting to the kingdom. Okay? All right. Job 3:11. Job chapter 3 and verse 11.
Elder, this is the book of Job chapter 3 and verse 11. When everybody
has it, say scriptures on death for comfort. All right. Job 3:11.
It's the book of Job chapter 3 and verse 11. Why die I not from the womb? Why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly?
So when Job lost everything, he was like in a depression. All right, he was like in a depressed state. He said, why didn't I die from the womb? If I was going to live to go through all this and see this, why the Lord just didn't take me from the womb? All right, read it again.
Job chapter 3 verse 11. Why die I not from the womb? Why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly?
Why what?
Why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly?
Right, so go to James 2 and 26. Because when you die, it's just a separation of body and spirit. That's all it is. It's separation of the flesh and the spirit. James 2 and 26 will answer that. When he said, why I gave up the ghost, why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly? You know, why wasn't I stillborn or, you know, just die from the womb to live and go through all this suffering the Most High put me through? You know, Job was in a state of depression because he lost everything, but the Most High was testing him. That's another thing, too. You can't start feeling suicidal and depressed and when you're going through affliction. Sometimes affliction is to test you and to make you better. But Job, you know, like any man, Job experienced a moment of weakness, you know. He experienced a moment of weakness. That's all. So read.
James chapter 2 and verse 26. For as the body without the spirit is dead, for faith without works is dead also.
So that's what Job meant when he said, why I didn't give up the ghost from the belly. Right? Give up the ghost, meaning the body is dead without the spirit. The ghost means the spirit. Okay? Right? There's no ghost. That's a translation for spirit. Right? Read it again.
James chapter 2 and verse 26. For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also.
The body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also. Paul was using a comparison of when you die, the spirit leaves the body. Go back to Job 3 and 11 again.
Job chapter 3 and verse 11. Why died I not from the womb? Why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly?
Go ahead.
Why did the knees prevent me, or why the beast that I should suck?
The breast that I should suck.
Oh,
right.
Salakia.
Why did I go through my infant stage, my childhood? You know, Job was in a state of, depression at the time. Right? Come on.
Why did the knees prevent me, or why did the breast that I should suck?
Come on.
For now should I have lain still and been quiet. I should have slept. Then had I been at rest.
Right, because death, you at rest in death. That's another thing people don't understand. We're sad and everything, but when a person dies, they at rest. They ain't got to worry about bills, stress, headache, being in this wicked kingdom. Sometimes, man, just going throughout your day, you like, damn, you feel like you don't want to be here. This place is so evil. All the evil you see. You see good when you're doing the work, when you see Israel waking up to the truth, when we repent and coming together as a people, enjoying our feast days. Like Kasaja was bringing out, everything is not a party, but, we try to enjoy a little bit of the feast day. You know what I'm saying? Put the big screen on, play the music, enjoy a little bit of the tabernacles just for now, because we know this all going to be over with. And that takes away a little bit of the stress and everything you go through in this kingdom when you can celebrate amongst your brothers and sisters. Right, go ahead.
With kings and counselors of the earth, which built desolate places for themselves.
Come on.
Or with princes that had gold, who filled their houses with silver.
Meaning in death, when it comes to death, everybody's on the same level as far as in the spirit world. All right? It is no respect to persons with death. So when you're in the spirit world, you're at rest. It's kings there from the least to the greatest. When you die, your spirit is at rest. All right, come on.
Or as a hidden, untimely birth, I had not been. As infants, which never saw light.
Come on.
There the wicked cease from troubling, and
in death, even the wicked cease from troubling. Everything is at rest. Come on.
And there the weary be at rest.
The weary be at rest. So a lot of times our people are sick, they're hurting. Brother Shemaiah was suffering, man. The last time I visited him, the brother was fighting, man. The brother was fighting, man. I didn't even like to see that brother in that state, man. Now we know eventually he went to the rehab and was trying to get him better, but he was still in critical condition. They was like, it's still critical for him. So there the weary are at rest. All right, somebody passes away, they're at rest. Come on.
There the prisoners rest together. They hear not the voice of the oppressor. The small and great are there, and the servant is free from his master.
So death is a form of freedom. Is a form of freedom from oppression in this world. Come on.
Wherefore is the light given to him that is in misery, and life unto the bitter in soul.
Right. Why is life given to the bitter soul? Job is saying, damn, why I'm living on this earth with all this suffering, all this evil, all this wickedness. I'm in pain. I'm sick. I'm stressed. I'm depressed. I'm suicidal. Basically, Job is saying, why does the Lord allow people to live with bitterness in their spirit? But everything is of the Most High. You got to endure. Right? Come on.
Which long for death, but it cometh not.
Yeah, a brother literally told me that a few years back. I ran into the brother. He's from New York, but he moved out of town. So he came back to visit. And he was like, yo, New York is still, or we was talking. He's like, New York is still off. He's like, I'm doing all right. Well, he moved down south. He said, I'm doing all right. But I said, how you doing overall, though? Man said, yo, I'm ready to check out of life. There's a brother in the truth. Brother was like, yo, I hate this world. Man said, I'm ready to check out of life. I was like, damn. Right, read on.
Which long for death, but it cometh not, and dig for it more than for hid treasures.
Right, they long for death, man. They want to leave this world. Some people want to leave this world, man. They may not go as far as to commit suicide, but they want to leave, man. Whatever suffering or misery they're going through or whatever they see in the earth, they just want to get out of here. All right, come on.
Which rejoice exceedingly and are glad, when they can find the grave.
Right. That's why I said people are at rest. And a lot of people know that if that person was living a bitter life, or they was sick, or they was suffering, they finally happy now. They at peace. They don't feel that pain no more. All right, go ahead.
Why is light given to a man whose way is hid, and whom God hath hedged in? For my sighing cometh, for my sighing cometh before I eat, and my roarings are poured out like the waters.
Go ahead.
For the thing which I greatly feared is come upon me, and that which I was afraid of is come unto me. I was not in safety, neither had I rest, neither was I quiet, yet trouble came.
Right. So Job was just talking about what he was going through. He said, all this affliction came upon me. Y'all know from chapters 1 and 2 what Job was going through. All right. So from there, go
Hey,
to the
chill
book
out,
of.
King.
Go ahead.
Yeah, real quick, Bob. I just want to add real quick.
Bring it out.
One scripture. Give me on Sirach 41.
Uh,
Just go on what you're saying. Sirach 41, 1-3.
Con. Yeah, that's a good one. I ain't even had that one down.
It's the book of Sirach Ecclesiasticus, chapter 41, and verse 1 in the Apocrypha. O death, how bitter is the remembrance of thee to a man that liveth at rest in his possessions, unto the man that have nothing to vex him, and that have prosperity in all things. Yea, yea, unto him that is yet able to receive meat. O death, acceptable is thy sentence unto the needy, and unto him whose strength faileth, that is now in the last age.
That's what Zabach was talking about. That's what the elder Zabach was talking about. The brother had lost it. The brother was on it, basically out. He couldn't be the Shemaiah that he would be used to. Couldn't be the
Right.
Shemaiah moving on his feet. Couldn't be the Shemaiah that's doing the AI, and couldn't be the Shemaiah that's working the videos for us, and that making the crowns. And he couldn't be that Shemaiah no more. Right? He wasn't going to come back to that stage, right? So now that becomes acceptable because a man like him, who had so much talent, that's like a death sentence in itself, that you can't do the things that you used to do and enjoy, right? It says death is acceptable sentence unto the needy, unto him whose strength is faileth. Read on.
Khan, that is now in his last age,
Come
and
on.
is vexed with all things, and
Come
to
on.
him that and him to this and to him that despaired and have lost patience.
Right. So you kind of lose patience when you can't do the things that you want to do, and you lay it on the deathbed, and your mind is still clear. From what I see, the brother's mind is not out of it like that. So now this is a death sentence. And the Bible said death is acceptable to him now. Read on.
Fear not the sentence of death.
But we ain't
Remember,
supposed to fear the sentence of death, because any one of us can be taken out. You see what I'm saying? But the Bible does say that the God is of the living and not of the dead, meaning, you want to see everything come into the kingdom unfold. It's a beautiful thing. So you rejoice to be here. But when you lose patience, when you're on your deathbed, and when these things happen to you, now death becomes acceptable because you can't be the person you was, right? He can't come out to the camp on January 6th no more. He can't be the Shemaiah that he's used to. So now death is acceptable to him, right? For him to be at peace now, right? Read on.
fear not the sentence of death. Remember them, remember them that have been before thee, and that come after. For this is the sentence of the Lord over all flesh.
It's the sentence of the Lord over all flesh, so we must not fear it, right? And it is a rest to those that have lost their strength, have lost patience, man. All praises to the brother. Shalom.
Shalom. All praise.
Con. Excellent point, King. Excellent point. Good verses to go along with what we were saying. It's more acceptable once when you can't be yourself no more. That's why, not for nothing, but there are certain there are certain brothers like that got violated in jail and they killed themselves. or when they came out, they didn't want to live no more. Like they didn't feel like a man no more. They's like, yo, man, you know what I'm saying? That has happened. So yeah, if it's something in your life that happens, it make you like, yeah, I'm not myself no more. I'm not a man no more. You know, like, not to take it there, but like Jake say, like, if somebody make you a eunuch, you know, if you take your manhood, like, yo, I'm not a man no more. I don't want to live. You know what I'm saying? So there's certain things that, you know, you might go through that be like, I can't be the person, you know, I don't want to be here no more. You know, if the Lord take me, they take me. You know, I can't come back as myself. You know, so that's a heavy point the elder brought out. Go to Psalms 104, verse 29.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 104 and verse 29. When everybody have it, say Khan.
Psalms 104, verse 29. Khan.
Khan. Thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou takest away their breath, they die, and return to their dust.
Right. The Lord said, thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou takest away their breath, they die and return to their dust. That's all the Lord do. He just take your breath away. All right. And what? Dust thou art from the beginning in Genesis. From dust thou art, dust thou shalt return. All right. That's why you're supposed to be buried in the earth. You're supposed to have a proper burial. That's the way the Most High set it up. All right. So the Lord said what? He takes away their breath and they return to their dust. He takes your life. Right? Go ahead.
Thou sendest forth thy spirit.
The Lord, what the Lord is showing us here in Psalms 104 in these verses is it's the process of life and death. The Lord said, I take away life and I give life. Right? Read it again, verse 30.
Thou sendest forth thy spirit, they are created, and thou renewest the face of the earth.
There you go. He sent forth his spirit. They are renewed, and they are created. Because what? He sends the spirit back down from the spirit world into the womb of the woman, and a new child is created. So it's a cycle, right? Like the Lion King, the circle of life. Some die, a generation dies off, a generation is born. Khan, go to Ecclesiastes 3 and 20 to link that up.
Salaki.
All right, go ahead.
Salaki, that means you're not supposed to be cremated, correct?
Huh?
You're not supposed to be cremated.
You're supposed to be buried in the ground.
Khan.
You're supposed to be buried in the ground. Now, some people do cremation because they can't afford a burial, things of that nature. You know, my sister was cremated, you know, but I had no say-so over it. You know, my mom was like, she didn't have insurance and I'm not spending all that money for, you know, a burial and all that. I'm not doing it. You know, I was like, all right. You know what I'm saying? So, but we're supposed to be buried in the ground. That's the natural process. Go to Ecclesiastes 3 and 20.
Elder, Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 20. All go unto one place, all are of the dust, and all turn into dust again.
Right. It said all go unto one place, meaning when you die, you're supposed to go to the dust. All go unto one place. You're supposed to go to the dust. All right. And that's the process that the Most High set up. Read it again.
All go unto one place, all are of the dust, and all turn unto dust again.
And all turn to dust again. All right, now, you know, you have exceptions where you could be buried in a tomb or sepulchre like your H.O.I, whatever the case may be. But the main basis of when you die, you're supposed to return to the dust. You're supposed to be buried in the dust again. That's the way the Most High set it up from the beginning. But you do have exceptions. People cremate people because they can't afford it. People want these fancy tombs. So, you know, whatever the case may be. But originally, you were supposed to be put back in the dirt. All right, go from there, Ecclesiastes 12 and 7.
Is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 7. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it.
Right, so that's all it is. It's just, you know, the dust returns to the earth and the spirit goes back to the Most High. That's all death is. It's just a separation of body and spirit. And it's not the final frontier. Khan?
Con.
Gone.
All right. So don't overwhelm yourself with sadness and oh God, and and getting depressed. We're gonna get into that later. All right. Sometimes a person dies, and another person. A lot of times that happens with couples. All right. Most I say it's time to go, but a lot of times somebody died, people get into this mass depression, and that can cause you to die. You can die from a broken heart, so to speak. All right. So for the most part, somebody passed away. What you say in the comments, sis? I don't know if this script came out yet, Salakia. That's later on, sis. That's later on. That's on.
Salakia, I think your mic is muted.
Yeah, Salakia, I muted it by accident. Ecclesiastes 1 and 4 now. Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 4.
Con. It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and verse 4. When anybody have it, say con.
Gone.
Con.
God.
One nation passeth away,
What the
and
Lord
another.
say?
One nation passeth away.
One generation.
Salakia, one generation passeth away,
Right, one generation passeth away. Come on.
and another generation cometh.
Come on.
But the earth abideth forever.
Right, so the Lord is just letting us know about the life cycle. One generation passed away, and another one cometh. All right. Go from there to Sirach. Go to Sirach 14:18. Sirach 14:18. So this is just to give y'all, understanding on death and what the scriptures speak about death, and not to get into too much of a depression because it's not the final frontier. All right.
This is the book of Sirach, Ecclesiastes, chapter 14 and verse 18.
Start at 17.
Verse 17. All flesh waxeth old as a garment, for the covenant from the beginning is, thou shalt die the death.
Go ahead.
As of the green leaves on a thick tree, some fall and some grow, so is the generation of flesh and blood. One cometh to an end, and another is born.
See that? The Lord said, one cometh to an end, and another is born. All right, so the Lord is comforting us about death. He said, that's all death is. One generation passed, and another one comes. Separation of body and spirit. God?
God.
All right, go from there to Sirach. Let's stay in Sirach since we there. Go to Sirach 11 and 14. So this is to strengthen us. All right, so we're gonna miss our brother. It's a sad day, but also, the Lord wants us to understand we got to stay strong and firm and just understand the process of death and how to deal with it. Read Sirach 11 and 14.
Sirach, Ecclesiastes 11 and 14. Prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come of the Lord.
Right, it all comes of the Lord. All right, Ecclesiastes 3, we don't have to get it. To everything there is a season and a time and a purpose to everything under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die. Sometimes the Lord say, hey, it's time to go. Kind? Right, and it's really not we can do about that. Right, the Lord said it's time. Sirach 15 and 17.
This is the book of Sirach, Ecclesiastes, chapter 15 and verse 17. When everybody have it, say Khan. Before man is life and death.
See that? And we basically have a choice, meaning the things you do in your life can cause your death or it can cause you to continue to live. All right, if a person is out there gangbanging and murdering and killing and they get killed, That was their judgment according to their works. All right, so read it again.
Before man is life and death.
Come on.
And whether him like it shall be given him.
Whether him like it shall be given him. You want to be a drill rapper? You want to talk about death and shooting up? What was the dude in Philadelphia, Mr. Disrespectful? And the Most High had him get bodied. So which one you want? You want life or you want death? Choose life. Choose to keep the commandments and serve the Most High that you may live. And even if you keep the commandments and the Most High take you out, remember the righteous perisheth. There's a reason for that also. Well, he was keeping the law. He was serving the Most High. Why the Lord killed him? The scriptures speak about that also. So that don't mean just because you're living righteous and keeping the commandments, you can't die, but you have a better chance at life when you're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. But when you're breaking the law, you got a better chance at death. Okay? All right. So even with sickness, right? Health, all right? Eating properly, taking care of yourself, watching your diet, exercising. All that stuff can bring sickness on you, and that sickness can lead to death. You know, not getting proper rest. We know this king on the scriptures say this is not our rest, but that's not literal. You just stay up for days and weeks at a time. That takes a toll on your body. Okay? You got to get some kind of rest. All right, that all takes a toll on your body. So don't tempt the Most High with bad lifestyle choices, because that can bring death on you beforehand also. Okay? All right, don't tempt the Most High. Do not tempt the Most High. You can't eat damn Burger King every day and expect to be healthy. Okay? Right, go from there. Sirach 22 now. Go to Sirach 22. So keep up with your health, y'all. That's important. To the best of your ability. And to the best of your ability. Keep up with your health. Okay? Somebody say something for a minute. I gotta send the link. Somebody say something for a minute. The cat got your tongue.
Yeah, shalom, H.O.I. Yeah, man, this is a sad day, man. Just, thinking about the brother Shemaiah, reminiscing on how the brother taught me how to do the AI, taught me a whole bunch of stuff, man, how to, press shirts. I have this machine that he loaned to me, and the brother, he had a plethora of talents, man, that the Most High gave to him, man. And I'm very fortunate, to be amongst that brother. He was like a one-man band of different talents, man, So
Right.
the brother's going to be missed, man, but I do have comfort that, he's in the spirit in the third world with H.O.I, and he has comfort, and he's at rest, and he's at peace.
All praises. Sirach 22:11.
22:11, Elder?
22:11.
This is the book of Sirach, Ecclesiastes, chapter 22 and verse 11. Weep for the dead, for he have lost the light, and weep for the fool, for he wanted it understanding. Make little weeping for the dead, for he is at rest, but the life of the fool is worse than death.
Read it again, Salakia.
Weep for the dead, for he have lost the light.
Right, he have lost the light, meaning he's lost, living on the earth. And that dead is also talking about spiritually dead. Weep for those that are spiritually dead too, the ones of our people that don't want to wake up, they're spiritually dead. All right, read it again.
Weep for the dead, for he have lost the light.
Yeah, a lot of our people don't have the light. They're in a dead state of mind. That's spiritual death also. All right, go ahead.
And weep for the fool, for he wanted it understanding.
Right, weep for a fool because they want understanding. Come on.
Make little weeping for the dead.
Make little weeping for the dead. Meaning you can mourn, but it's going to tell you mourn for a certain time and then life goes on. Time?
Con.
All right, you can't be consumed with you know, depression. And right? Certain men, you know, and women of our nation, they had an impact on the nation. So you feel it. You might have that little extra cry or whatever. Not out of respect to persons, but whoever the person may have been to the body. You know, this one hit me, man. I almost broke down last night. And you know, I pretty much deal with death pretty good, but you know, this one kind of hit me. You know, listen to like some reggae truth music. You know, like reggae with a message talking about Zion and the Most High, and you know, I just started thinking about the brother, man. It just hit me, man. You know, I had a little yayan, I sipped some yayan for the brother, man, and it just hit me, man. You know, but you know, I got strength. You know, I just you know, I tried to shake off a little bit. I was like, damn. But it's okay. It's okay to have that moment. It is okay. All right, read on.
Con, reading on. For he is at rest, but the life of the fool is worse than death.
Yeah, life of a fool is worse than death, man. All right, weep for the dead because they're at rest. All right, make little weeping for them. You know, really rejoice for them in a sense also because they're at rest. But the life of a fool is worse than death. Come on.
7 days do men mourn for him that is dead.
Right, 7 just represents completion, meaning have your time to mourn, and then you got to move on. All right, so it may be 7 days, it may be longer. I think Joseph and Moses, certain men, you know, the people mourn longer, 30, 40 days, whatever, you know, depending on their status in the nation, you know, but 7 just represents completion. You weep for that certain time, you mourn, but you got to move on. You got to keep living. You can't be consumed with that grief. Right? Come on.
But for a fool and an ungodly man all the days of his life.
Yeah, a fool and an ungodly man, you weep for them all the days that they have life. God? All right, read on.
Talk not much with a fool.
Oh, that's it on that. That's all I wanted. That's it on that. Go to Sirach 30 and 14 now. Just a few here, you know, keep us comforted and strengthened in the loss of our brother. All right, Sirach 30 and 14.
Comes the book of Sirach, Ecclesiastes, chapter 30, verse 14. Better is the poor, being sound and strong of constitution, than a rich man that is afflicted in his body.
Right, and that's why Esau hates us a lot also. Because a lot of times we be poor as hell, but we got stronger bodies. Now, a lot of times in our community, they put in the bad foods, they put in the different things to poison us. But for the most part, a lot of times, you know, that's why they have that organ harvesting. You know, young Jake and Eve be missing, man. They be turning up missing, which is an oxymoron, but, you know, you can't turn up and be missing at the same time. But, you know, they be missing, man, because they be taking our body parts. Because they know, if anything, we might be poor, but the Lord gave us exceptional bodies, man. That's what we're the best at anything. You put us in equal competition, we're going to excel. Because the Most High gave us those blessed bodies. Right? Come on.
Health and good estate of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth.
Yeah, strong body above infinite wealth. All right, some of these rich people be afflicted, man. I think they said a JFK, one of them Kennedys, Marilyn Monroe was like, the man was taking like 30 medications. All jacked up, man. They be rich, famous, but their bodies be jacked up. All right, so we have to understand the Most High gave us that blessing. And when you take care of your body and eat the dietary law, you feel even more strengthened. So that's very important, y'all. Take care of yourselves to the best of your ability in this kingdom. All right, go ahead.
There is no riches above a sound body, and no joy above the joy of the heart.
Right. It's no better feeling than feeling good. It's no better feeling, man. When you feel good, you know, your body feels good. You don't feel no ailments, no weaknesses, no sickness. You feel yourself. You feel strong. You feel that extra boost of energy? Nothing better than that, man. You might be broke as hell, you know, the day, but you feel good. You know, my body's feeling good. So yeah, to the best of our ability, because a lot of times, like I said, them lifestyle choices, and you're not listening to your body, you're not eating properly, you're not getting adequate rest. I know, you know, sometimes you got to stay up. I've done it for this truth for many years. I think that's why I be so goddamn tired now. Staying up 36 hours, damn near 2 days straight. I've done it. No sleep, doing the work, studying, this and that, getting stuff done for this feast day, doing that, doing that. Before oh, damn, I haven't been asleep. You know, all types of camp schedules. We used to teach all kinds of day and night. 12 in the afternoon to 12 at night. 5 in the afternoon to 5 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? But you got to balance it out. You got to try to get adequate rest. Eat as good as you can in this filthy kingdom. The food is garbage, but you get the cleanest of the garbage to the best of your ability. All right, but you know, all those things are important too, because the Most High looks at that. Them lifestyle choices, man. So be careful with that. That diet, you know what I'm saying? Watch your weight. You know what I'm saying? You know, make sure you're trying to tone down and exercise. You know, you don't want to be too skinny, but you know, that can be a healthy thing. You know, you know, that weight, try to work on your weight. You see yourself getting big. I see myself getting a little stomach. I'll be like, yo, hold up. I gotta cut down on the carbs. I gotta try to do some more sit-ups. I gotta walk more. Whatever the case may be. Because all that stuff is important and it does affect your health. And when it affects your health, it can lead to sickness, then severe sickness, then real bad sickness, and eventually death. It is what it is. All right, so just watch that, Israel. Go ahead.
Verse 17. Death is better than a bitter life or continued sickness.
What did the Lord say?
Death is better than a bitter life or continued sickness.
Yeah, man. And when I saw my brother Shemaiah, man, I was like, you know, the nurse told me, she said, it's one day at a time. I said, damn, my brother's suffering. I was praying over him. You know, I did a session for an hour. I did every 15 minutes for an hour straight. And then I prayed on the hour. You understand? So I was doing like 15-minute intervals, and then I would like say an extra prayer on the actual hour. You know, the last time I went to see him, I was with him for about 2 hours, most, I believe, yeah. But I was looking at him and I was like, damn. I mean, you know, y'all saw the video. I sent it in the chat. I was like, man, my brother's trying to fight. He was moving, looked like he was trying to open his eyes, looked like he could hear me. But I knew, I said, the brother is suffering. I could tell he's suffering. You know, laying up in that bed, you know, you get bed sores, you know, but you can't feel all that. You just trying to get better, man. You know, but I said, damn, man, I didn't like to see my brother like that. You know, but you know, let the Most High will be done. All right, jump down to 21.
Verse 21. Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thy own counsel.
Yeah, that's another thing, man. Don't give your mind over to heaviness and don't afflict yourself in your own counsel. Do the best you can, pray to the Most High, and that's it. That's all you can do, because that heaviness can bring about sickness, depression, your body start breaking down, deteriorating, getting weak, and eventually you can die. Like I said, you can die from a broken heart. So be careful with that, right? We know this kingdom is hell, but you got to try to put on that cheer in the Most High to the best of your ability. Right, come on.
The gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days.
Yeah, see that? So come out of that depression and sorrow, man. All right, that's
So
like I
that
said, people die like that. You know, a good friend of mine, we grew up in the hood. We kind of grew up in our later teenage, early adult years. We start hanging. We was hanging with each other. And his mom's passed. And once his mom's passed, everybody said he just deteriorated. He just went downhill. You know what I'm saying? He was real close with his mom. And it just ate at him and ate at him. And then eventually, about 4 or 5 months after his mom's passed, he passed. You know, so be careful with that, you know, letting that sorrow get to you so much. All right, read on.
The Locky
Nope.
King.
Damn, sorrow for the kingdom. Sorrow for the kingdom to come. All right, feel sorrowful for the kingdom. Man, I want this kingdom to come. But don't let it get you in that state where it starts to break you down. Go ahead, King. Gerard, you want to say something?
Yeah, Khan, you hear me?
Yeah.
Absolutely. When your mom's, when you close with your mom, definitely that can be an issue. But that's why the Most High bring days like the tabernacles, man. Where we can have
Kind.
so much fun, man. We danced all night. We danced all
Kind.
night, man. Drank and enjoy each other's company, man. So that's why it's important to get together for these high holy days, man. Because it builds back your spirit and rebukes your spirit, take away that sorrows, man, when you enjoy with your brothers and sisters, man.
Kind. All right, 23. Sirach 30, 23. Kind, good point, King.
Verse 23. Love thy own soul and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee, for sorrow have killed many, and there is no profit therein.
Yeah, man. Sometimes you just gotta try to have a good time. Get rid of that sorrow, man. You know how many times I was feeling some kind of way and I went to camp or I went to the feast day or a brother just happened to call me, sister just happened to call me. All right, elder? How's your day? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, almost like they knew I was feeling some kind of way. Or somebody just text you something positive. Shalom, elder, I'm just checking on you. Stay strong. You know what I'm saying? Love you. All praise to the Most High Yahweh Shai. Like, damn, did you feel I was going through something? And that might have made my day. That might have made my day. The rest of the day, I was feeling good. You know what I'm saying? So it does happen, man, and remove that sorrow from you. Like Elder said, man, go to the Feast of Tabernacles. You know, we know sometimes this economy, you can't afford it, these jobs, but make a way. Try to make a way. Come out and enjoy yourself with the family. You know, we all going through something. But we start tabernacling, man. That food, man, that food come off that grill and that music start playing and you know what I'm saying? You feeling good afterwards. You know, you're enjoying each other, you're around brothers and sisters, you get to basically live around each other for a couple of days. You know, get to chop it up, talk about a lot of stuff, Everybody got a story, man. Oh, damn, Mike, I didn't know you went through that. And not to be negative and store information on people and watch to see what negativity you can store in your mind in case the time come and you want to use it. Nah, don't do that. 5 years later, oh yeah, I remember the tabernacles. Yeah, you were storing that to use against a person, not telling a story of what happened. That's different. But you just watching to see what you can get negative. No, come on out and enjoy yourself. Right, enjoy your tent. You know what I'm saying? Most I said, dwell in booths for 7 days. Enjoy your tent. Enjoy. I'm in a closed space, but I'm outside in nature. Zip open your little tent with the net part, let some fresh air come in. All right, yeah, enjoy your tent. I'm gonna come outside later, but I'm enjoying my tent for a couple of hours. All right, go ahead.
Envy and wrath shortens the life.
Yeah, envy and wrath shorten the life, man. Just angry all the time, jealous, negative, competing. That shorten your life because you're not concentrating on building yourself and what you could do. You got all these feelings built up inside you, tearing you up inside. Go ahead.
And carefulness brightens age before the time.
Bringeth age before the time, right? You don't want to do anything. You don't want to enjoy anything. You don't want to, sometimes people look at you and be like, damn, he looking old. Or she looking old. They only 30, they only 40, they looking 60. Yeah.
God.
You ever see that?
God.
Be like, damn, they looking all old? God?
20 years old looking like 50.
Yeah, man, you 30 looking like 60. Damn. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Reading on. A cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet.
Yeah, you will have a care of your meat and diet, a cheerful and good heart. So that's important, Israel. Like I said, man, we eating garbage in this. Even the finest of food that they can give to us in our hoods is trash. But do the best you can. All right, Cassandra always talk about eating the fruits and the vegetables and your salads and things of that nature. Balance it out. You know, you have tabernacles where, you know, if you know you've been keeping up with your health to a degree, okay, I can have that little burger. I can have that, you know, a little hot dog, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I can have that little piece of steak or whatever, you know, if you deal with the meat or whatever. You know, because you know what? I'm going to go right back to my balance after. I'm going to just enjoy this for now. It's a feast. But I know I'm going to go back to balancing my diet. All right. And another thing, don't just eat to eat, Israel. Eat when you know you're hungry or your body needs nourishment. Don't just everything you see. Every time you see food, you got to eat. Damn, you know, that's a sandwich right there. Oh, that's a burger. That, you know. Yeah, we feast. We eat, you know. Get your eat on, but balance it out. All right, balance it out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how these people, they be having that TV show, My 600-Pound Life. I'm like, how did you sit there and get that big? They gotta come and damn hoist you up with a damn, they gotta strap you up, strap a harness around you and hoist you up out of your crib. They had that Edomite woman, they try to hoist her up and the whole damn floor collapsed in. They strapped her up. She was like 600-700 pounds. They strapped her up to try to take out the crib, and the whole damn floor collapsed. She was so heavy, the damn whole floor collapsed in. Everybody fell into the damn floor. Yeah, man. So all I could tell y'all, Israel, out of love, is be careful. Be as careful. I know I don't eat as healthy as I should sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Balance it out. The drinking, balance that out. We know H.O.I, we get our drink on, but balance that out. You know, get your water up in there, get your natural juices, things of that nature. Balance it out. Too much of anything is not good for you. All right. And that diet, I'm telling you, that diet, that lack of sleep, that exercise, all that stuff plays a part. All right, Kyle?
God.
All right, go from there to Judith. Go to Judith 5:1. No, Judith 8:1. Salakia.
Khan, this is the book of Judah, chapter 8 and verse 1. When everybody have it, say Khan.
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 God.
Khan. Now at that time, Judah heard thereof, which was the daughter of Merari, the son of Ox, the son of Joseph, the son of Alzel, the son of Elka, the son of Ananias, the son of Gideon, the son of Raphim, the son of Akato, the son of Ilu, the son of Elab, the son of Nathaniel, the son of Samuel, the son of Saladaliel, and the son of Israel.
Go ahead.
And Manasseh was her husband of her tribe and kindred, who died in the barley harvest.
Right. So Manasseh, his name was Manasseh, but he was a Simeonite. So that go to show you can be the name of another tribe, but not necessarily from that tribe. You know, you can be a Judite named Benjamin. All right. So his name was Manasseh, but he was from the tribe of Simeon. Right. Go ahead.
For as he stood overseeing them that bound sheaves in the field, and heat came upon his head.
Right. He was in the field, you know, binding the sheaves, and the heat came up. He's working out in the field. Reminds you of what? Slavery. Working out in that hot sun. And for whatever reason, he wasn't cooling himself properly or whatever. He didn't have the proper shade or whatever. Right? Come on.
And he fell on his bed and died in the city of Betholia. And they buried him with his father in the field between Dakim and Balamal.
See that? So sometimes you just die. Most I say it's time to go. And Judith was a righteous woman, so more likely than not, her husband was probably an upright, righteous man. But the Lord saw fit to take him. Or maybe he sinned. It don't say. Maybe he did some kind of sin and the Lord took him. That was just the way the Most High chose, for him to die. He was out working out in the sun. You can die from a sun or a heat stroke. Right? Come on.
So Judith was a widow in her house 3 years and 4 months. And she made her tent upon the top of her house and put on a sackcloth upon her loins and wear her widow's apparel.
Right. So she went and mourned for her husband. She went up in a tent. She put a tent on top of her house. All right. And she said, look, I'm going to mourn for my husband. Show you, we had different times when we dwelt in tents. We might have been in mourning and we was like, I don't want to dwell in a house. I want to dwell in a tent, whatever the case may be. But look, Judith's husband died. And she was a righteous, upright woman when she delivered Israel. She cut the damn enemy's head off. Okay? But what? The Lord allowed her husband to die while he was binding sheaves in the field, most likely of a heat or sunstroke. So you can be of a righteous surrounding, whatever, and the Most High could still, call you home. If it's your time, it's your time. Okay? All right. So go from there to Romans. No. Go to St. John 11. Let's go to the New Testament. Go to St. John 11. So everybody understand so far?
Gone.
All right. So this is just, dealing with death. Death is not the final frontier, but it does happen. St. John 11 and 1.
Gone. It's the book of St. John, chapter 11, verse 1, where everybody have it say con.
All right. What this section, hold on. Before we go there, because this is going to be a separate section. Before we go there, go to Philippians.
What chapter and verse, King?
Go to Philippians 1. Start at 20. Philippians 1 and 20.
It's the book of Philippians, chapter 1 and verse 20. According to my earnest expectation and my hope that in nothing I shall be ashamed, but that with all boldness, as always, so now also Christ shall be magnified in my body, whether it be by life or by death.
Right. So Paul said, either way, Yahweh is going to be magnified in my body by life or by death. All right. He said, either way, if I live, I'm going to teach this gospel and do this work. If I have to die, I'm going to die in Yahweh. Right. Come on.
For to me, to live is Christ, and to die is gain.
Good.
But if I live in the flesh, this is the flesh of my labor. Yet what I shall choose, I would not.
Right. He said, for to me, to live is Yahweh, and to die is gain. Because he said, what? If I live, I'm going to represent Yahweh. I'm going to preach this gospel. If I die, I'm going to be with the Most High and Yahweh. So either way is gain. Right? Come on.
For I am in a strait between two, having a desire.
Like he said, but if I live in the flesh, this is the fruit of my labor. Yet what I shall choose, I would not. Right? For I am in a strait betwixt two. I am in a dilemma. A strait is a dilemma. Paul said, I'm in a dilemma between two. All right? Because what I really want, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't going to jump the gun. He's going to say it. Read on.
But if I live in the flesh, this is the fruit of my labor. Yet what I shall choose, I would not. For I am in a strait between two, having a desire to depart and to be with Christ, which is far better. He
said, that's what I really want. He said, I really want to die and leave this earth and be with Yahweh. God? All right. So don't feel too hurt or depressed, brothers and sisters, because what? We all know, we understand the scriptures, our brothers in the spirit world with the Most High Yahweh. All right, come on.
Nevertheless, to abide in the flesh is more needful for you.
Right. So Paul said, living on this earth, though, is more needful for you because what? The people they need proper leadership. They needed the gospel. They need the gospel to be preached to them and also to be led. All right. The people are like sheep led to the slaughter. They need shepherds. So Paul said, it's what I want. I would like to leave this earth and be with the Most High Yahweh in the spirit world. But to be down here on the flesh, he said, is needful for you because he was writing to the churches. So he said, y'all need me here to preach the gospel to y'all and to guide y'all. Y'all need me here on the earth. That's what we should live for. We live on the earth to serve the Most High Yahweh. Just like the elder quoted earlier, the Most High is not the God of the dead, but of the living. All right, when you're dead, you're at rest. When you're living, you live to serve the Most High, to do his work, to serve him on this earth, to bring forth the kingdom of the Most High, to preach this gospel, to lead, to direct the people, to follow the commandments, to be led by people that are in a higher leadership position than you. That's what we on the earth for. But Paul said, look, I don't mind dying and going up and being with the Lord, man. Then they say that in the they got a song like that. I'm going up to yonder to be with my Lord. And every Christian funeral they sing that song almost everyone. All right, I'm going up to yonder to be with my Lord. Right, what Eddie Murphy said, the upper room.
Yeah, Jesus.
God.
The upper room.
The upper room.
God, life.
God. Right, I'm going
all
up
right,
to
all right,
yonder
all right, all right.
to be
Salakia, y'all know
with
my daddy
my
was a
Lord.
Salakia. You know my daddy was a pastor, and he sung all them songs y'all singing now.
God. Every
God.
Christian funeral, you gonna hear that one. Well, most of them. I'm going up to, if anybody asks you where I'm going up to yonder to be with my Lord. All right, read on.
God, verse 25. And having this confidence, I know that I shall abide and continue with you all for your furtherance and joy of faith.
Right, he said, but having this confidence, the Most High going to keep me down on this earth in the flesh, because Paul, what? At one point, Paul knew that he was going to die. But at this point, he was like, look, I'm going to just be down here in the flesh for the furtherance of the gospel. Come on.
That your rejoicing may be more abundant in H.O.I Mashiach for me by my coming to you again.
He said, your rejoicing, shall be in Yahweh by my coming to you again. So Paul said, it's a joy for me to be here in the flesh, representing Yahweh on the earth for the people. Okay? So, it's like we brought out earlier, especially, death becomes acceptable if you feel you're going to have to live a miserable life. And sometimes you feel like that. You like, this kingdom just gets overwhelming. You don't tempt the spirit of the Most High and say, Lord, just take me now. But you like, Lord, if you decide I got to go home today, I wouldn't protest it. I hate this world. I'd rather be up there in the spirit with you. But Paul said it's an advantage to be down here to teach the people. All right, to bring the people back to the knowledge of the Most High, to promote the kingdom. That's what we here on the earth for. So that's a benefit also, because you're here on the earth representing Yahweh in the flesh. All right, from there, everybody understand, Khan?
Khan.
Right. Go to Romans 8 now. Romans 8. I was going to St. John, but I'm going to say that for the last. There's a separate section for the ending part of the class. Yeah, not going to be on here too long. Khan. For the ending part of the class. All right, so y'all know a lot of these scriptures on death, but just want to bring it out to strengthen brothers and sisters a little bit more. Romans 8 and start at 35.
Khan, this is the book of Romans chapter 8 and verse 35. When everybody have it, say Khan.
God.
Romans 8:35. Whom shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword?
Come on.
As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter.
Right. See that? What's going to separate us from the love of Yahweh? Tribulation, anguish. All right. When somebody dies, you in a state of grief and anguish. All right. But what? That can't separate us from Yahweh. We can't lose faith because the Most High took a brother, because the Most High took a sister. All right. We are counted every day as sheep to the slaughter. All right. Go ahead. Verse 37.
Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us.
Right, through the blood of Yahweh, we are conquerors. Right, come on.
For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come.
Come on.
Nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of God, which is in Christ Yahushua Mashiach.
Right, not even death can separate us from the love of the Most High. All right, the fear of death, for dying for this gospel, our brother or sister dying in the truth, you can't take it out on the Most High. Oh, Lord, why you took the brother? Or why you took the sister, Lord? That ain't right. That was my righteous brother and sister. Why would you take them? You can't question the Most High. So nothing, death, the fear of death, being put to death, being martyred for this gospel, death within itself cannot separate us from the love of the Most High. And you can't be selfish and get mad at the Lord because a brother or sister passed. Of course, not saying any of you brothers or sisters doing that. But our people that lack understanding, they do that. God killed my mother, man. What kind of God would take my mother from me? God? I don't mean to laugh, but Jake gets simple, man. I'm mad at God. Why would God do that, man? Why would God do that and take my... No, you can't question the Lord. He said it was time to go. That's it. Okay? So that can't separate us from the love of the Most High in a Mashiach Yahushua. So now let's get... This section is going to be resurrection from the dead. All right, put down in your notes, these next couple of scriptures will be resurrection from the dead. And then we're just going to close it out. Just a few more, we're going to close it out. Resurrection from the dead. And there's 1,000 precepts on death, dealing with death. I just want to get a few to strengthen the body. Okay? So we're going to miss our brother Shemaiah, but death is not the final frontier. If it be the Most High will, we'll see him again. I thought the brother was going to pull through. But that last visit, I prepared my spirit for anything. I was like, I don't know. I said, like with anything, it's up to the Most High. I said, I'm hoping my brother pulled through, but he's suffering, man. He's suffering bad. All right, but Kwem Shemaiah, Most High will, we'll see our brother again. So resurrection. St. John 11:1.
It's the book of St. John, chapter 11 and verse 1. Everybody have it, say Khan.
We got to go through quite a few verses. I'm a breeze through it to get the main points. Y'all can read it and go more in depth on your own. Study it more in depth on your own, but I want to get to the main points. St. John 11:1. Read.
Now a certain man was sick, named Lazarus, of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha.
Come on.
It was that Mary which anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. Therefore his sister sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick.
Right, so Lazarus was sick. See, that's so we're going to get sick. Even people walking in the spirit, it said this was that Mary which anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair. This was a woman in the spirit. Mary Magdalene. Yahweh said, wherever this gospel is preached, he said in Matthew 26, wherever this gospel is preached, always tell this story. That's why we read it at the Passover and certain other major events. And I think some brothers like read the story all the time, or read the story when they go out to camp or whatever. He said, wherever this gospel is preached, remember what this woman did. Tell this story. All right, so these were brothers and sisters in the spirit. These wasn't no lightweight brothers. These were brothers and sisters heavy in the spirit that was rolling with H.O.I. But Lazarus got sick. Go to Sirach real quick. Hold that. Go to Sirach 38 and 14. Hold St. John 11 and 3. And go to Sirach 38 and 14. No, start at 15. Sirach 38 and 15.
Sirach 38 and 15. When anybody have it, say Khan. Khan. He that sinneth before his maker, let him fall into the hands of the physician.
Right? See that? He that sinneth before his maker can, let him fall into the hand of a physician. Meaning what? You can get hurt and injured and jacked up, or you can get sick. All right, sickness can come from sin also. All right, but you can sin against your maker and the Most High judge you. You're doing some kind of wickedness out there and you get hurt or injured or even worse, killed. Or sin can bring about sickness. All right, go ahead.
My son, let tears fall down over the dead and begin to lament as if thou hadst suffered great harm thyself.
Right, see that? You feel that. Damn, The Lord said, weep and mourn. If you suffer great harm yourself, I'm going to miss that brother. I'm going to miss that sister. Them not being here anymore is taken away from me. That's taking away a piece of me. Because that's my family. That's my brother. That's my sister. That's my nation. Right? Come on.
And then cover his body according to the custom and neglect not his burial.
Come on.
Weep bitterly and make great mourn and use lamentations as he is worthy.
As he is worthy. So you're gonna weep for that brother. You're gonna weep for that sister. You're gonna weep for that family member. Like the scriptures say, as is worthy. All right, come on.
And that a day or two, lest thou be evil spoken of, and then comfort thyself of thy heaviness.
Right. Instead of eventually get over the grief and move on. Instead of a day or two is just a saying, you weep for your appropriate time. You weep for a certain amount of time, and then eventually you got to move on. You got to strengthen. You ain't going to never forget the person. You're going to have moments, but you can't be consumed in that grief. All right, come on.
For a heaviness cometh death.
And it said you'll be talked on, man. Yeah, man, he was never the same since his brother died. Yeah, look at him, man. Ever since his aunt died, he been all messed up. People they're going to see it. They're going to see that death consumed you. All right, come on.
For of heaviness cometh death.
Of heaviness cometh death. Come on.
And the heaviness of the heart breaketh strength.
And do what?
And the heaviness of the heart breaketh strength.
It said the heaviness of the heart breaketh strength. So you cannot be consumed with grief and anguish and mourning and depression. You got to eventually move on. All right, read on.
In affliction also sorrow remaineth, and the life of the poor is the curse of the heart.
Come on.
Take no heaviness to heart. Drive it away and remember the last end.
Go ahead.
Forget it not, for there is no turning again. Thou shalt not do him good, but hurt thyself.
Come on.
Remember thy judgment, for thy also shall be so yesterday for me, and today for thee.
Go ahead.
When the dead is at rest, let his remembrance rest, and be comforted for him when his spirit is departed from him.
See that? It said, be comforted for the dead when their spirit is departed from them. That can also go with Job 3 and 11 and James 2 and 26. When a body leaves the spirit, that's all death is. Everybody understand? Okay? So you can sin. You can sin before the Most High, and it can lead you into the hand of a physician. Sickness can come from sin, and then it eventually can lead to death. Okay? All right, so go back to St. John 11 and 3. Now, sickness may not always come from sin. It may be an affliction. It's just part of the curses. Remember, in the law, the Most High said he was going to give us all the diseases that we was afraid of in Egypt. He said, you didn't want to keep my commandments, which is a form of judgment for sin, but it may not be directly something a person did. It may just be the overall curse that we're under. Because of the sin as a nation, we have sickness amongst us as a people. That's just part of the curses. All right, go ahead. St. John 11:4.
Therefore his sister sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick.
Come on.
When Yahushua heard that, he said, this sickness is not unto death, but the glory of God, that the Son of God might be glorified thereby.
Right, because Yahushua was saying, meaning this sickness is not for continual death, because we're going to find out what happened when you go down, what happened with Lazarus. All right, read on.
Now Yahushua loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus.
See, it say Yahushua loved them. So Yahushua loved these people. All right, so go to show, no matter what level you're on, you can still get sick, you can still die for whatever reason. All right, come on.
When he had heard, therefore, that he was sick, he abode 2 days, still in the same place where he was.
Come on.
Then after that, said he to his disciples, let us go into Judea again. His disciples said unto him, Master, the Jews of late sought to stone thee, and goest thou thither again? Yahushua answered, are there not 12 hours in a day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there is no light in him.
Right. So they was a little apprehensive about going because they knew, they wanted to kill Yahushua. All right, his life was in danger. But check this out. Read on.
These things said he, and after that he said unto them, our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go, that I may awake him out of sleep.
Right, he said Lazarus sleep, but he meant death. Come on.
Then said his disciples, Lord, if he sleep, he shall do well. Howbeit Yahushua spake unto his death, but they thought that he had spoken of taking a rest in sleep.
Good.
Then said Yahushua unto them plainly, Lazarus is dead.
Right, like Kasaja was bringing out earlier with Nas. I never sleep, because sleep is the cousin of death. All right? Jake say that in the street. Mainly about his own people, of course. That nigga keep messing around, but put that nigga to sleep. Put that nigga to sleep, son. Put that nigga under the dirt. And you coward ass nigga, you Salaki, you only talking about your own people. I went around my old way yesterday. I was chilling in the hood. I went to see mom and everything. Brownsville, East New York, some of them niggas out there are doing the same thing. 30, 40, 50, 60 years old. And some dudes I recognize, they didn't recognize me, but I remember they face from back in the days, still on the block. I couldn't believe it, but I could believe it because the curses are still there. The Most High said he kindled a fire that will burn forever. Some of the curses, they never going to stop until Yahushua come back. But I'm talking to my man. He telling me about the new gangs around the way and how a dude got killed. And I'm like, yo, son, stop pointing. He pointing at the dude. Yeah, them niggas are some suckers. I'm like, yo, chill. But he pointing, these are 30, 40, 50. Some of them I don't recognize as new dudes in the hood. But the Spirit just had me throughout my old hood yesterday. I was like, and I'm walking through. So I'm seeing like, damn, the more things change, the more they stay the same. I'm like, I remember that dude from high school. I remember him. I remember his face. Dude's 50 and 60 now. They my age. Still out there on the block doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So Jake, they'll put each other to sleep. They quit. That's slang. Put that nigga in the dirt, son. Nigga keep messing around. Put that nigga to sleep. Yeah, you put your own to sleep, but you scared the death of Esau. Like we was talking about Philly earlier. You go all the way downtown Philly during rush hour to shoot another brother. Y'all got beef from the hood or whatever. You see him at rush hour downtown Philly. Niggas supposed to be going to work 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, whatever. Dude got scrubs on. and worried about shooting and killing another his op from the hood. Nigga, go to work, man. You know what I'm saying? So these are the things our people are prone to. But
Hey,
back to the
Salaki,
fact of the matter, that's the slang amongst our people. Yo, I'll put that nigga to sleep. You know what I'm saying? It ain't I'm gonna put that Klansman to sleep. I'm gonna put my real ops, the racist so-called white man, I'm gonna put him to sleep. As always, I'm gonna do this and that to another Negro. All right, read on.
And I am glad for your sakes.
Salaki, King.
Bring it out.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. These guys, man, they going nowhere from the block, man. The same thing when I go around the old neighborhood and dudes is telling me, you know what I mean? Where you going, man? You one of the official niggas for the block. You gotta, like, what are you talking about, man? Right in front of the Chinese restaurant. They niggas never left the Chinese restaurant. And niggas are still there. And you know what? A lot of them dudes, they angry and they mad at you because they feel like you left. You abandoned them, which is foolishness because they never tried to do anything. And now they got that envy and jealous of you. So like you say, your man pointing, and nigga don't care. The nigga don't care if he gets shot or you get shot. They really got a secret envy, man. Secret envy is worse than anything. You know what I mean? A silent envy is worse than anything.
Yeah, man. I'm telling this dude, man, yo, don't be pointing, son. But he actually told me, yo, because he be watching. So he actually told me, yo, I'll be glad when I see brothers like you, because these niggas out here is ignorant. He was actually talking to me about the ignorance, but I'm like, yo, son, don't be pointing, man. I don't know them dudes. If it was dudes I knew, I grew up with, I'd be like, oh, they'd be like, oh, that son, you know, he probably just telling them what happened. But it was a whole group of new faces. I saw some of my mans that I grew up with, but there's a whole group of new dudes. I'm like, yo, dude, don't be pointing, man. I don't know them dudes. You know what I'm saying? But he frustrated, like, yo, these dudes still out here. So I'm like, yo, just don't be out here. He's like, nah, don't be out here like that. All right, but go ahead. St. John 11:15. So Yahweh he plainly said, look, Lazarus is dead. All right, he's not asleep. The disciples, you know, sometimes Yahweh had to talk to them like they were simple. Not calling the disciples simple, but, you know, they said, oh, he taking a nap? Yahweh was like, no, he's dead, man. All right, go ahead.
Verse 15. And I am glad for your sakes that I was not there, to the intent ye may believe. Nevertheless, let us go unto him.
Right, Yahweh said, I'm glad that I wasn't there because this is going to make you and a lot of the Jews believe. Because, okay, Lazarus is dead. Now we're going to go there, and I'm going to show y'all what the Spirit going to have me do. Come on.
Then said Thomas, which is called Didymus, unto his fellow disciples, let us also go, that we may die with him.
See that? Yeah, and we got to be like the disciples and the prophets, man. You can't fear death. That's another aspect. You can't fear death. He said, let us go. If they're going to kill Yahweh, they're going to have to kill us too. That's gangster. That's G with it right there. He said, the Jews seek after his life. If they kill him, they're going to have to kill us too. Let us go, that we're going to die with him today. If he's going to a family that he's close with, Mary, Martha, and Lazarus died, and he's going to comfort the family, we rolling with Yahweh Shai. And if they're going to kill him, they're going to have to kill us too. All right, Khan? Right? So go ahead. Because what? Thomas understood also death is not the final frontier. We don't have to get it, but Revelation 2:10, it said, be faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Teach this gospel, even if you got to put your life on the line for it. Because what? You're guaranteed the resurrection and to be on them chariots when Yahweh shall come. We're going to get that later also. Read on.
Then when Yahushua came, he found that he had lain in the grave 4 days already. Now Bethany was nigh unto Jerusalem, about 15 furlongs off. And many of the Jews came to Martha and Mary to comfort them concerning their brother.
Right, you know, they came to comfort, you know, like we read in the Apocrypha about comfort when somebody's in sorrow, when there's death, things of that nature. Go ahead.
Then Martha, as soon as she heard that Yahushua was coming, went and met him, but Mary sat still in the house. Then said Martha unto Yahushua, Lord, if thou hadst been there, my brother had not died.
Right, because she felt like Yahweh would have had the spiritual power to heal Lazarus' sickness, like he did. But Yahweh said, no, there's a bigger purpose here. You know, I was not here. He got sick, he died, and I was not here because there's a bigger purpose the Most High going to show us. Right, come on.
But I know that even now, whatsoever thou wilt ask of God, God will give it to thee. Yahushua said unto her, thy brother shall rise again.
He said, your brother going to rise again. Come on.
Martha said unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day.
Because remember, we're going to get it later, but First Thessalonians 4:13 tells us about the dead and Yahweh rising again. So Martha was like, yeah, that you talking about that? Because he said Lazarus was already dead, buried 4 days. He's, you know, whatever. But Yahweh said he's going to rise again. She said, yeah, at the resurrection at the last day, because they understood that. Right, come on.
Yahushua said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live.
He said, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth on me, even if he dead, he still lives, because he lives in me. And also, he's going to be delivered at the actual resurrection. Right? Come on.
And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believest thou this?
He said, they shall never die. Technically, you're never dead if you live and believe in me. Right? Come on.
She said unto him, Yea, Lord, I believe that thou art the Christ, the Son of God, which should come into the world. And when she had so said, she went her way and called Mary, her sister, secretly, saying, the master is come and calleth for thee. As soon as she heard that, she arose quickly and came unto him.
Right, there's a lot of meat in this chapter, man, but I just want to get to the main point. We have to do a lesson on just the chapter itself. Good.
Now Yahushua was not yet come into the town, but was in that place where Martha met him.
Good.
The Jews then which were with her in the house and comforted her, when they saw Mary, that she rose up hastily and went out, followed her, saying, she goeth unto the grave to weep there. Then when Mary was come there, Yahushua was, and saw him, she fell down at his feet, saying unto him, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died.
Good.
When Yahushua therefore saw her weeping, and the Jews also weeping, which came with her, he groaned in the spirit and was troubled. And he said, where have ye laid him? They said unto him, Lord, come and see. Yahushua wept. Then said the Jews, behold, how he loveth him. And some of them said, could not this man, which opened his eyes of the blind, have caused that even this man should not have died?
Right.
Yahushua,
So they trying to put that pressure on Yahweh. Like, if you was here, he wouldn't have died. You healing the sick, you opening the eyes of the blind. Right? If you was here, he wouldn't have died. But they didn't understand the purpose yet. They jumping the gun. They don't understand the purpose. Go ahead.
Yahushua therefore again groaning in himself, coming to the grave. It was a cave, and a stone lay upon it. Yahushua said, take ye away the stone. Martha, the sister of him that was dead, saith unto him, Lord, by this time he stinketh, for he hath been dead 4 days. Yahushua said unto her, say I not unto thee, that if thou wouldest believe, thou shouldest see the glory of God Yahweh.
Yeah, she said his body is rotten and he's stinking and he's been in there for 4 days. What you gonna do with him now? They was more so like, you know, if you had been here, you could have prevented him from dying by healing his sickness. But he's dead, and like Jake say, dead and stinking. She said he stink. He's 4 days dead now. His body's rotten. And what you gonna do for him now? All right, go ahead.
Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead was laid. And Yahushua lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me. And I knew that thou hearest me always. But because of the people which stand by, I said it, that they may believe that thou hast sent me.
Right. He said, this, I'm being used by you, Father, for this major sign right here. They don't believe. But when they see you give me the power to perform this miracle, they're going to believe. Well, many of them are going to believe. Good.
And when he thus has spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth.
He said, Lazarus, come forth. Come on.
And he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot with grave cloths, and his face was bound about a napkin. Yahushua said unto him, them, loose him and let him go.
He said, look, take the bandages, everything off of him, the napkin off his face, everything, and let him go. He's going to be fully back living on the earth again. He raised Lazarus from the dead. Right? Come on.
Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which Yahushua did, believed on him.
See that? It was always for the Most High to show. The Jews require a sign. So what? After all that, they kept saying, if you was here, he wouldn't have died. If you was here, he wouldn't have died. If you was here, he wouldn't have died. But Yahushua said, hold on, watch this. Father, give me the power. Come forth, Lazarus. And he resurrected Lazarus from the dead. Time? All right. Read on.
But some of them went their way to the Pharisees and told them what things Yahushua had done.
Right. They went to the Pharisees and told them what he had done. That's it on that, just on 46. So everybody understand the moral of the story? It was to show Yahushua's power that he can resurrect. So, hey, who's to say the Most High can't give us that power in these last days? Well, Elder, you think you Yahushua, you're going to be raising people from the dead? I didn't say me, I said we. All right? Now check this out. Did Paul say that? Yes. Hebrews 6:1. So who's to say? Brother or sister could pass away in this truth and we get spiritual power to resurrect them, to show the people to believe. Okay? Didn't Yahushua say that he that believeth on me shall do greater works than me? In St. John? Okay? Who's to say? You don't know what the Most High could do. You don't know. We might get power to raise the dead in these last days to show the people who the Most High is dealing with. Like I said, don't have to be me, don't have to be H.O.I, whoever the Most High dealing with. All right, Hebrews 6:1.
Comes the book of Hebrews chapter 6 and verse 1. Therefore, leaving the principle of the doctrine of Christ, let us go on unto perfection.
Water King. No, it's like a good actually. Somebody was, Brother Gabar was giving me a compliment. The Water King. Good King.
Hebrews chapter 6 and verse 1.
Good.
Therefore, leaving the principle of the doctrine of Christ, let us go on unto perfection, not laying again the foundation of the repentance from dead works and the faith towards God, Yahweh.
Right, and you're supposed to be growing in this truth, man. I mean, each year you gotta, even if it's just an inch, whether you're growing an inch or you're growing a mile, you're growing small or you're growing great. You're supposed to be growing in this truth. You got to leave the principles of the doctrine of Yahushua and move on to perfection. You got to be elevating, man. You can't be 7, 8 years, 9, 10, 12, 15 years, and you still dealing with the same vices. And come on, it got to be some kind of growth and elevation. Don't have to be financially, don't have to be materially. It can be spiritually, which that's what it mainly, the main growth should be spiritually. All right, so you got to move on to perfection at some point. You got to elevate in this truth, and mainly elevate yourself, your walk. Elevate your walk. You should be doing things some way, somehow to get closer to the Most High Yahushua. Right, come on.
Verse 2, of the doctrine of baptisms and of laying on of hands and of resurrection of the dead and of
what?
Eternal laying and of laying of on of hands and of resurrection of the dead and eternal judgment.
See that? It's that of the doctrine of baptisms, spiritual baptisms, meaning cleansing the people's mind with the word, water baptism is okay. Some brothers in Israel teach that's a Christian thing, but the true baptism is through the word and true cleansing of your mind and repentance. Hopefully, you take showers and baths every day. So dipping in the water is not true baptism. All right, if you want to do it, that's between you and the Most High. But true baptism is by the word. Come on.
Of the
I mean,
doctrine.
it says in a laying on of the hands. Laying on of the hands is healing and even touching someone and you can resurrect them. All right. And it says, and resurrection of the dead and of eternal judgment. All right, verse 3.
And this will we do if God permit.
And this will we do if the Most High permit. Okay? Right? So Paul said we might can receive those powers if it be the Most High will. So who's to say? Somebody die in this truth? Nah. Most High gonna show his power. Bring that brother back. Bring that sister back. Right? Most High ain't ready. He ain't ready for them. That's why with Lazarus, with St. John 11, Yahushua said, his death is not permanent. I'm paraphrasing, but he was saying his death is just to show the power of the Most High working through me I can bring him back to life. And that's heavy, man. I don't know, man. It happens all the time. People die and then they cover them with the sheet and they sit up. You know what I'm saying? That famous drug dealer from Harlem, AZ, the man said when he got shot, he said he died like 4 times. But he said the Most High brought him back. It wasn't time for him to go. The man said he felt himself die like 3-4 times. He died. He was gone. He could see it. And the Most High, and he brought him back. But imagine, having that power. All right? Imagine having that power, man. You know what I'm saying? So the Most High can do that too. So death is not the final frontier. There can be resurrection. There will be resurrection for the righteous. All right?
Lucky.
Bring it out.
Just to touch on that point, Elder, just even sure it happens in our time. When I had my heart attack, I was laying there on the ground and everything around me, the sound just kind of dropped out of everything. And I just kept repeating, I just want to go to sleep. I just want to go to sleep. But in my mind, it was darkness, but it was this real peaceful darkness where you literally wanted to go into it. The last words I heard the lady say was, he ain't breathing no more.
Damn.
And the next time I woke up, I was in the back of an ambulance and the EMTs was hooking me up and vitals and all of that stuff. And I faded to black again. And they was like, we losing him. He gone. We losing him. The next time I woke up, I was in the hospital with all type of tubes and stuff. So definitely, when the Most High got work for you and he ain't ready, he'll send you back.
Yeah, kind. Most High, if he ain't ready for you, he'll send you back. So that can happen. And then remember, just like Yahushua, that was a sign to the people. Remember, it said many of the Jews believed. Once they saw Lazarus raised from the dead, they said many of the Jews believed. All right. And that was a sign to the people like, oh, wow, the Most High is really dealing with this dude. But then they start going murmuring amongst the Pharisees. Oh, this guy raised somebody from the dead. That's when they was like, yo, he's the threat. Because when you read down in St. John, they was like, the Romans going to take away our place in nation. This Negro doing all these kind of works. So go from there to Acts 9. Go to Acts chapter 9. No, matter of fact, let's get Yahushua real quick. Let's stay in St. John. Go to St. John 19:28.
This is the book of St. John, chapter 19 and verse 28. After this, Yahushua, knowing that all things were now accomplished, that the scripture might be fulfilled, said, I thirst. Now there was set a vessel full of vinegar, and they filled a sponge with vinegar and put it upon a hyssop, and put it to his mouth.
Yeah, man. Imagine you say you thirsty and somebody try to give you some damn vinegar, man. On the end of a hyssop plant. You know what I'm saying? Just pure mockery. Right? Go ahead.
When Yahushua therefore had received the vinegar, he said, it is finished. And he bowed his head and gave up the ghost.
He said, it is finished. It's done. I fulfilled my time. It's time for me to go. All right. Jump down to 38.
Verse 38. And after this, Joseph, Arimathea, being a disciple of Yahushua, but secretly for fear of the Jews, besought Pilate that he might take away the body of Yahushua, and Pilate gave him leave. He came therefore and took the body of Yahushua. And there came also Nicodemus, which at the first came to Yahushua by night, and brought a mixture of myrrh and aloes, about 100-pound weight. Then took they the body of Yahushua and wounded in the linen clothes with the spices, and of the manner of the Jews is to bury.
Right, so now Yahushua is dead. They prepared his body for the burial. Right, come on.
Now in the place where he was crucified, there was a garden, and in the garden a new sepulchre, wherein was never man yet laid. There laid that day Yahushua therefore, because of the Jews' preparation day, for the sepulchre was nigh at hand.
Jump down to 20 and 6. Y'all can read the rest on your own. I'm getting to the main points. So we see Yahushua's dead. They're preparing his body for the burial, whatever. Jump down to St. John 20 and 6 now. Read.
Then cometh Simon Peter, following him, and went into the sepulchre, and seeth the linen clothes lie.
Right, so you see the linen that they wrapped him in is just lying there. Right, come on.
And the napkin that was about his head, not lying with the linen clothes, but wrapped together in a place by itself.
Right, so they seen the napkin from his head wrapped together by itself. Go ahead.
Then went also that other disciple, which came first to the sepulchre, and he saw and believed.
Go ahead.
Now as yet they knew not the scriptures, that he must rise again from the dead.
That he must what?
That he must rise again from the dead.
Right, because in Psalm 16, it prophesied that Yahushua would rise again from the dead. Y'all can read Psalm 16 around the 10th verse. So read the whole psalm to get the understanding. Right, come on.
Then the disciples went away again unto their own home.
Right, see that? Yahushua rose from the dead. He wasn't there. The linen was there, the napkin, but his body was gone. Because what? The Most High gave him the power to resurrect up to the heavens. All right, now go from there. Y'all can read the rest on your own. It'll give you the whole story of the resurrection. But go to Luke now, 24. Check this out. Luke 24 and 36. So these are just a few precepts to show that there can be resurrection from the dead. Death is not the final frontier. All right. And y'all can read the latter chapters of the Gospels. It'll go all the way into it. Y'all can read that on your own for your own work about, the resurrection and the conversation between Mary and the disciples, whatever. But check this out. Now, Yahushua dead, he rose, but he's going to appear back in the flesh to the disciples now. Check this out. St. Luke 24:36.
The book of St. Luke, chapter 24, verse 36. And as they thus spake, Yahushua himself stood in the midst of them and said unto them, peace be unto you.
Right, he said, shalom, shalom, Akim. He stood in the midst of them, shalom. All right, go ahead.
But they were terrified and affrighted.
They gave us the ghost like, yo, right? We thought you was dead. Come on.
But they were terrified and affrighted and supposed that they had seen a spirit.
They thought they seen a spirit or a ghost. Or you know how people say, grandma visited me from the grave last night, or I saw grandma in a window, or I woke up and grandma was standing in my room. And people say those accounts are real. I never experienced that, but people say it's real. The person's spirit can visit you. So they thought Yahushua's spirit came back to visit them. Right, come on.
And he said unto them, Why are ye troubled? And why do thoughts arise in your hearts?
He said, why y'all having doubt? Or why y'all scared, afraid? Y'all don't believe? I'm the Son of the Most High. Y'all can appear back to y'all in the flesh. There's not a spirit. It's in the flesh, as we're going to read down. Come on.
Behold, my hands and my feet, that it is I myself. Handle me and see, for a spirit have not flesh and bones, as ye see me have.
Yahweh shall appear back to them in the flesh. He said, it's not a ghost, it's not a spirit. It's me. All right, go ahead.
And when he had thus spoken, he shewed them his hands and his feet.
Right, the Most High could have let him come back as a spirit, but he let him come back in the flesh. He said, it's actually me. The Most High brought me back down from the spirit world after they crucified me, and I'm back appearing to y'all right here in the flesh. The Most High can do that. So death is not the final frontier. The Most High could bring you back from death. Right, come on.
And while they yet believed not for joy and wondered, he said unto them, have ye here any meat? And they gave him a piece of a broiled fish and of a honeycomb.
Yeah, Yahweh just said, man, well, y'all cats sit around looking simple, man. Give me something to eat, man. That's a Jake for you.
God.
That is a Jake for you. He said, let me show these dudes, man. I'm going to eat something in front of them. This is really me. All right, go ahead.
And he took it, and he did eat before them.
I know the disciples was like, yo, I know they was confounded. All right? But Yahweh just said, man, y'all cats sit there and debate about it. Give me some food, man. Right? You know Negroes love fish. He said, they gave him some boiled fish and a honeycomb. All right, come on.
And he said unto them, these are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled, which were written in the laws of Moses, and in the prophets, and in the Psalms concerning me.
Yahweh said, all this is written in the Old Testament concerning me, and it's being fulfilled. Right, come on.
Then opened he their understanding, that they might understand the scriptures.
Come on.
And said unto them, thus it is written, and thus is behold Christ to suffer and to rise from the dead the third day.
Come on.
And that repentance and remission of sins should be preached in his name among all nations, beginning at Jerusalem. And ye are witnesses of these things.
And he said, look, you witnessed these things. He said, it was prophesied for me to be 3 days and 3 nights in the earth. And what? I resurrected, and I'm here, and all is being fulfilled. So the Most High even brought Yahweh back from the dead, of course. Go to Acts, the 1st chapter. I get 2 or 3 more. We're going to close it out for the sake of time. There's more, but I'm going to just get a couple more and close it out. You know, we can go into more precepts another time concerning the death and resurrection, and death not being a final frontier. Acts 1 and 1.
It's the book of Acts, chapter 1 and verse 1. The former treatise have I made, O Theophilus, of all that Yahushua began both to do and teach.
But a treatise is just a writing on a particular subject. Theophilus is a title that means lover of the Most High. Like Theo, all right? Theophilus just means lover of the Most High, or one that loves the Most High. So he said, I'm writing this subject to those that love the Most High. That's how it reads, you know. Treatise and Theophilus, those are not everyday regular words. So Luke, which wrote Acts, he's just saying, I'm writing this particular subject to the lovers of God. Right, good.
Unto the day in which he was taken up. After that, he through the Holy Ghost have given commandments unto the apostles whom he had chosen.
It said, O Theophilus, of all that Yahweh shall begin to do and teach, until the day in which he was taken up on the chariots. After that, he through the Holy Spirit had given commandments unto the apostles whom he had chosen, which is the story is going to happen when we read down. Right, come on.
To whom also he showed himself alive after this passion by many infallible proofs.
Right, meaning he came, he proved to them, like we just read in Luke. He said he showed himself alive after his passion with many infallible truths. Look, I'm here. Touch me. Hold me. Give me some fish and some honeycomb. It's me. All right. He had to prove himself with infallible proofs. Look, Oh, no, we can't get around that. This man sat here and ate in front of us. All right, so Luke is just reiterating the resurrection. Come on.
Being seen of them 40 days, and speaking of the things pertaining the kingdom of God.
Right, he sat with them for 40 days. Not only did he come back from the spirit, from death, he sat there with them for 40 days and gave them more mysteries of the kingdom of the Most High. Right, come on.
And being assembled together with them, commanded them that they should not depart from Jerusalem, but wait for the promise of the Father, which said he, yea, have heard of me.
Come on.
For John truly baptized with water, but he shall be baptized with the Holy Ghost not many days hence.
Good.
When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?
Right. So they asked Yahweh, are you going to give us the kingdom now that you're back? You came back from the dead, so you must be came back to give us the kingdom. Right? Come on.
And he said unto them, it is not for you to know the time or the season, which the Father hath put in his own power.
Come on.
But he shall receive power after that the Holy Ghost is come upon you, and he shall be witnesses unto me, both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost parts of the earth.
Good.
And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight.
A chariot came and just, Yahweh Shah fulfilled his resurrection and his time he was supposed to stay with the disciples and to give them one last encouraging speech that you're going to be witnesses to me unto the uttermost parts of the world. You're going to go and spread this gospel at that time and the future prophecy in these last days. Come on.
And while they looked steadfastly towards heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahweh Shah, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come like manner as he have seen him go into heaven.
Right, see that? So Yahweh Shah died, he was crucified, he was buried in a sepulcher, he went up, ascended up to the Father, came back down on the earth in the flesh, stayed with the disciples 40 days and 40 nights, and preached to them and told them, listen, go out and spread the gospel throughout the four corners of the earth. And when he completed that, a chariot took him up back to the Most High. Kind? By Shema Mashiach. Right, so there's life after death, but not the Biggie Smalls version. All right, no folly. Acts chapter 9, verse 36. All right, 3 more.
The book of Acts chapter 9 and verse 36. Now there was at Joppa a certain disciple named Tabitha, which by interpretation is called Dorcas. This woman was full of good works and alms deeds, which she did. And it came to pass in those days that she was sick and died.
Read again from 36.
Yeah, King. Now there was at Joppa a certain disciple named Tabitha, which by interpretation is called Dorcas. This woman was full of good works and alms deeds, which she did.
Right, see that? So who does that sound like? Our brother Shemaiah. All right. Brother was very, very, very productive with the body. Ask the brother to do something, elder, just call me and tell me what you need. Never really asked for anything in return. Sometimes he would be like, elder, it costs this, such and such, and he wouldn't even ask for the money. You know what I'm saying? So, we're going to miss our brother, man. He was full of deeds, for the work and especially behind the scenes. Sometimes you may not see a brother in front of the camera at the camp, whatever, all the time, but don't mean they're not working. A lot of times that behind the scenes work comes in handy, man. We need that. A lot of this stuff didn't get put together. I mean, a lot of stuff got put together by the behind the scenes work. A lot of stuff function and roll and operates through the behind the scenes work. All right, so read that one more time, Acts 9:36.
Now there was at Joppa a certain disciple named Tabitha, which by interpretation is called Dorcas. This woman was full of good works and alms deeds, which she did.
Right, and see that she was a sister. You have sisters and brothers that are full of alms deeds and good works that they do for the body and the ministry, and they help in furtherance of the gospel. See that? Come on.
And it came to pass in those days that she was sick and died, whom when they had washed, they laid her in an upper chamber.
Right, see that? She was sick and she died. Now check this out. This was a sister in the spirit. She was operating amongst the body, doing the work, helping out, but the Most High, she got sick and the Most High took her. All right, go ahead.
And for as much as Lydda was nigh to Joppa, and the disciples had heard that Peter was there, they sent unto him 2 men, desiring him that he would not delay to come to them.
Right, so they just wanted, they wanted a man that was, a top man in the church under H.O.I, one of H.O.I's top disciples, to come amongst them and comfort them. All right, come on.
Then Peter arose and went with them. Then he was come. They brought him into the upper chamber, and all the widows stood by him weeping, and showing the coats and garments which Dorcas made while she was with them.
See that? She made garments. God. She made. They looked at all the beautiful garments. We look at all the beautiful crowns and staffs and garments. Shemaiah was getting better. He was getting better with the garments. Half the garments in the apostle, I was like, yo, Shemaiah made this. I was like, what? Yeah, man. See that? So there's nothing wrong with that, man. People that did good things for the body. It might be something material, but what? They said, look at all the beautiful work she did. Israel liked the style. Okay? So it's similar to people more. It was like, she was a great asset to the body. So they was in mourning not only for her death, but what she meant to the body and what she brought to the body. There's nothing wrong with that. People bring their talents to the truth and to the body. Especially if you're multi-talented. You got brothers like our brother Shemaiah. Got, man, 10, 15, 20, 30 talents. Like, damn, brother, what don't you know how to do? Okay? So it's the same thing. Ain't nothing new under the sun. This was a sister. And they looked at all the beautiful garments that she made for them. Read that verse 39 again.
Then Peter arose and went with them. When he was come, they brought him into the upper chamber, and all the widows stood by him weeping, and showing the coats and garments which Dorcas made while she was with them.
See that? They was mourning and weeping, like, damn. And the sisters are gone. Look at all the beautiful work she used to do. So that's something in our spirit as a people. We like, you admire when somebody brings such talent and things to the table. And first and foremost, their first love is loving the Most High, keeping these commandments and doing this work. But you see all the beautiful talent the Most High gave them and what they brought to the body. So, you weep behind that too. Go to Psalms 30 and 5. Link that up. Acts 9:39 with Psalm 30 and 5. So we remember our brother, man, and all the talent that he had and brought to the body. All right.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 30 and verse 5. For his anger endureth but a moment. In his favor, his life, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning.
Right. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. This is another one the Christians love to read. They love to read this one at funerals and stuff. All right. But weeping may come temporarily, but joy, that's what it means. Weeping may come for a time, but joy in the morning, meaning temporarily. So hopefully we get out of this kingdom soon and we see all of our brothers and sisters that the Father took home, and we can all be in the flesh together in the kingdom and worship and serve him and be together. Jump down to Acts 9 and 40 now. Finish that out.
It's the book of Acts chapter 9 and verse 40. But Peter put them all forth and kneeled down and prayed, and turning him to the body said, Tabitha, arise. And she opened her eyes, and when she saw Peter, she sat up.
Right, said Tabitha, arise. Quam Tabitha. Quam Shemaiah, quam Yashaba. All right? That's what quam means, arise. So when he looked, he said, arise, Tabitha. All right, Peter, through the Spirit, he said, arise, Tabitha. All right, come on.
And he gave her his hand and lifted her up. And when he had called the saints and the widows, presented her alive.
Check that out. See that? So the Most High can give us power to resurrect someone, bring them back from the dead, just like the disciples in H.O.I did. Right? Come on.
And it was known throughout all Joppa, and many believed in the Lord, Yahushua. And it came to pass that he tarried many days in Joppa with one Simon, a tanner.
See that? Check that out. So the Most High gave Peter that power to bring Sister Tabitha back. So that power is there. Like I said, whoever the Most High choose to bestow that power upon, so be it. But I believe those things can be done also in these last days. Somebody got to be the disciples. Somebody got to be the prophets. Somebody got to be the men that the Most High is dealing with. All right. And instead, Peter said, look, I'm going to stay in Joppa for a while. Because many people, more likely than not, it doesn't give detail, but many people, they probably believe, and the church probably grew behind that. Again, the Jews require a sign. You think some of our people out there, if they see us resurrect a dead body, some of them gonna believe. Some of them still might have that. Oh, them guys doing witchcraft. That's voodoo, black magic. How you gonna raise back somebody from the dead? That gotta be witchcraft. That gotta be the devil. They still ain't gonna believe, but some aren't. Like, yo, the Lord dealing with those men. Whoever, like I said, whoever the Most High may choose to do that, the Lord is dealing with those men. Those men are of the Lord. You never know. All right, so death is not the final frontier. So, Shalom. So, Peter chilled out. He said, yo, I'm gonna hang out with my man Simon. Right, and Simon was a tanner. A tanner was a leather maker, or one that dealt in skins. And when you check out a tanner, a lot of times a tanner was looked down upon because they had to constantly deal with the dead carcasses and skins of animals, which made them constantly unclean. I remember we had a brother that worked in a meat market. And, he's like, damn, man, every day I got to cut up this damn swine. I got to touch this damn swine and be unclean. So he like every day, but the elders gave him a pass. They was like, the brother can't help it. They still let him come to class and feast days because he couldn't help it. That was his job. We had brothers worked in a funeral home, constantly around dead bodies. The elders had to say, we're going to just pray on it and ask the Most High for forgiveness, because brother won't be able to come to nothing. He constantly unclean. You know what I'm saying? So, the elders just prayed on that. Some congregations wouldn't have let the brothers come in. They would have been like, you just got to worship at home, brother. You unclean. But, some of the elders and leaders was like, that's the brother's job. They gave him a pass. But when you check out tanners, they were kind of looked down upon because, they had a job that kept them constantly unclean. All right, but you got to use wisdom. So yeah, that's just dealing with resurrection. There's more. There's one in the gospel where Yahushua resurrected the woman. There's many. Lazarus we read, and Lazarus, the resurrection of Lazarus, that ties in spiritually with the rich man and Lazarus the beggar. Now, when I brought out the parable, I didn't go into that aspect. You can go deeper. The parables are so deep. I just want to bring a surface level breakdown so brothers can understand how to explain it. But those parables go deep. Maybe I'll do a part 2 and go more in depth with some of the mysteries of the parables and going deeper into the analogies, how they relate to other scriptures on the spiritual aspect, the spiritual connection. But that's just a footnote. Not to get off topic, but yet on topic. But that resurrection of Lazarus from the dead, it ties in with the rich man and Lazarus the beggar, because we're coming out of that dead state into the kingdom, like Yahushua resurrected Lazarus from the dead. And remember, that's one of the parables that actually can be taken literal. The rich man and Lazarus the beggar, you can actually take that literal as Esau's fall and Jacob's rise. All right, but back to the fact of the matter. I just want to put that footnote in there. So yeah, 1 Thessalonians 4 and 13, then Revelation, we're gonna close out. I know it's late. 1 Thessalonians 4:13. So everybody understand? Khan?
Gone.
I knew some of the people wasn't gonna come back. I shouldn't have gave them that break. Nah, no folly. Okay, Khan. 1 Thessalonians 4:13. This is still dealing with the resurrection. All the scriptures from St. John 11 on, they all dealing with resurrection. So that's why I titled the class, death is not the final frontier. Because, there's many aspects where you can be brought back from death. All right. 1 Thessalonians 4:13.
1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 13. But I will not have you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, that ye sorrow not, even as others which have no hope. For if we believe that Yahushua died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Yahushua will God bring with him.
Right. So there is a spiritual and physical death. So don't worry about the Israelites that haven't woken up yet, because there's still portions of the 1/3 that still got to be woken up, that still got to come back to this truth in these last days. Also, the ones of our people that are physically dead, that died in Yahushua. Remember, we started off with what? Isaiah 57:1. The righteous perish. So those that died in Yahushua will the Lord bring with him also. If you die in this truth, Lord forbid, if you pass away in this truth, Lord forbid, you still can be resurrected when Yahushua make his second coming. And, the ones of us on the earth that make it will meet you in the air, as we're going to read down. Read on.
For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, Yahushua, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep.
And we know sleep is another is metaphor for death. All right. Khan, Shalom Kadash. Right, go ahead.
For the Lord himself shall descend from the heaven with all shout, with the voice of the archangels.
With the shout, with the voice of the archangel. Go ahead.
And with the trump of God.
Come on.
And the dead in Christ shall rise first.
Right. I can't wait to hear that, man. I don't know what it's going to sound like, but I can't wait to hear it. All right. Yahushua is here. I don't know, man, but that's going to be powerful. Right. Go ahead.
Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord Yahushua in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord.
Right, we're going to meet Yahushua, those of us that make it. All right, Paul said we dare not make ourselves of that number, but we are the hopeful elect. All right, we had a channel like that, hopeful elect of H.O.I. So we're hoping to be in that number. You're going to meet Yahushua in the air, on the chariots, the clouds of the chariots, and those that died in Yahushua shall be up there first. They're going to resurrect and be up there on the chariots first. Come on.
Wherefore, comfort one another with these words.
And we're supposed to comfort each other with these words. This is our comfort. Like Romans, we don't have to get it. Romans 15:4. It says, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, we might have hope. All right. So death is not the final frontier. We understand these things, but sometimes we need to hear it again. All right. Yeah. So Paul said, comfort one another with these words. Last one, Revelation 21:3 and 4. Another one that Christians always read. But we're going to read it anyway.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 20 to 23.
21.
Oh, Slocket 21, verse 3. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with me, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God.
Where it said the tabernacle of Yahweh is with men, and he shall dwell with them. Which men? The Israelite men. And they shall be his people. That's how you know it's talking about Israel. Because who's his people in the scriptures? The Israelites. It tells you that in Joel and Joel and well, various places, but the his Saint Matthew 1, Joel, and also in the Apocrypha, that's the three that I can think of where it says his people is Israel. All right, so that's how you know it's talking about the Israelite man. And of course, man is masculine. That includes the women and children. All right, come on.
And he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their.
So like your shower part put, yeah, Hebrews 8 and 10 also. All right, go ahead.
And be their God. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away.
There you go. See that? Just like when somebody dies, you say they pass away. But the curses of this world are going to pass away. The things of this world are going to die. The curses and everything is going to pass away. The suffering is going to pass away. Just like going back to the parable of Lazarus and the rich man. It said the beggar died, meaning the conditions of the beggar died. The former things passed away. The curses, the death, the pain, the sickness, the mourning, the diseases, that's all going to pass away. The curses, the suffering. You're not getting your SNAP in November. Can't buy no damn food. All that is going to pass away. But the Lord said what? There shall be no more tears, no more weeping, no more death, pain, sickness, you know. May our brother rest in peace, but he was in pain, man. Brother was suffering. I could see it. But he was fighting. Brother was also fighting. But Elder Terah brought out an excellent point, man. You know, what kind of condition would the brother have been in if he would have even came through it? Probably wouldn't have been himself. You know, so the Most High said he's going to take away all that in the kingdom. We're going to live full lives in Yahweh, dwell with him forever and ever, amen. And, you know, we're not going to have to worry about the curses of the death and the sickness and the weak bodies and the ailments and headaches and knee aches and back aches and pains and, you know what I'm saying? And 1 minute you hear a person got cancer and in a year they dead. All right, a person has an accident and they dead 6 months later. Or they look at a brother, man. The brother, his daughter went in the hospital. She was coughing and having trouble breathing. Next thing you know, she was dead. You know, look at all the people they killed during COVID. You know what I'm saying? My cousin had a stomach virus. They went to the emergency room. Oh, he died from COVID. What? So, you know what I'm saying? All that's going to be done away with. So, rest in power to our brother Shemaiah, our sister Banaf that we lost earlier this year. All the brothers and sisters in Yahweh Shai that have passed this year or any year. All those that might pass in the future, unfortunately. You know, but all praises. May our brother rest in power. And Most High will we see him when them chariots fly, or if we get that power of resurrection to bring them back. It's up to the Most High. All right, all praise to the Most High, Mashiach Yahushai, Kwam Yasha'Allah, Kwam Shemaiah, Kwam House of Israel, Kwam Nation of Israel. All praise to the Most High, Mashiach Yahushai, forever and ever. Amen. Death is not the final frontier. By Shema Mashiach Yahushai.
Shema Yahushua.
God.
No praise.
Time.
Shema Mashiach Yahushua.
Shema Mashiach Yacha. Ah.
Shema Mashiach.
Kind.
God, so hopefully that brought about some comfort, brothers and sisters. So all praise to the Most High Mashiach Yahushai. Elder Zabach, Priest Zabach, Brother Zabach, whatever title you want to respectfully call me. All praise to the Most High Mashiach Yahushai. H.O.I to them chariots fly. Only scream it if you mean it. All the camps in Yahweh Yahushai throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.
All right, Kasaji, you can cut the YouTube.
Khan.
All right, Khan. I just want to close out the YouTube.